So now, let me show you how to create your own personal Kanban board for getting your life in order. So first, we go to kanbanry.com, one of the first Kanban applications available on the internet, and we will just create a free plan. By providing an email address and password. And since this is just for personal use, all we need is the free plan. So we'll click up here on free plan. And we have our first board. I'm going to skip the tutorial. And here is a very simple Kanban board. It just has lists of things to do, things we're doing, and things which are done. I'm going to modify this a bit. Since I'm going to be planning a week, I want a column in which to put all the things to do this week. So I'm going to add a column called this week. And I will put that right after to do. And then after this week, I'm going to add a column for today, and that one will go right after this week. So now we've got a column where we can put anything that comes to our mind, things to do, the things that we've decided to do this week, the things that we're going to do today, what we're working on now, and what we've finished. Next, I'll go into the board settings, and here we can adjust some of the way that the board looks and the way it works. We have a few task types set by default: household chores, personal development, office work, yard work. This isn't a bad start, but it's also, I'm going to put some of the categories I have from my mind map. For example, Kanbanry, and I'll make that one light blue. Lunar Logic, and I'll make that fuchsia. We'll have family, and I'll make that one red for a heart. And then career. I'll make that one green for money. And I'm going to get rid of the green yard work because I don't do yard work. I hate yard work. Okay, so now we've got a few different categories of work that we could be doing: household chores, personal development, office work, Kanbanry, Lunar Logic, family, career. I also like to use estimates. And the default estimates here are the ones that I prefer to use: tiny, small, medium, big, and huge. Another that I've used is minutes, hours, days. But the main idea is just to have some way of looking over your list of things to do and seeing which are going to be quick and easy, the quick wins, and which ones are going to be more difficult. You can also just stick with small, medium, and large, 1 hour, 5 hours, 10 hours. Here you can remove and create your own estimates, but we're going to stick with the ones that we have now. So, going back to our board view, now we have a place to put all of these things. Now, one of the principles of Kanban is that you're more effective when you focus on doing just a few of the most important things rather than multitasking. And we know from psychologists that the human brain actually doesn't multitask. When we try to do two things at once, our brain quickly goes back and forth between focusing on one and then focusing on the other. And in between, when it's switching contexts, it has to remember all of the things that are important in order to do task A, and then forget them when it switches to task B, and remember all the things that are important to do task B. And that time that you spend switching between tasks lowers your efficiency. So you can get a lot more done by doing less at a time. I know from personal experience that I'm only capable of doing about 35 things per week. And so I'm going to go into the column properties and give it a capacity of 35. I will never choose to do more than 35 things in a week. I also know from experience that I can't really effectively depend on being able to do more than 7 or 8 things per day. And so I'm going to set a capacity to my day column of 8. And my personal preference, although there are some people who think that this is a bit too extreme, is to never do more than one thing at a time. And so I set the capacity for the work that I'm doing in my doing column to 1. Now, one of the things I like about Kanbanery is you can hide columns that you're not using. So I'm going to hide this first to-do column. It's useful to have here while I'm working during the day if I get an idea for a task that I'm not going to do this week, but I want to capture to do someday. I can just stick it into this to-do column.